Hello and welcome to my weekly video blog, and today on A Vogel Talks Menopause I'm going to be talking about what is the perimenopause brain fog and what you can do to help yourself. If you like my tips and advice, then please subscribe and remember to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of all my new videos. Are you finding in the perimenopause that you're not thinking clearly, that your memory's sometimes not quite as quick as what it used to be? Are you finding maybe that it's really difficult to focus and concentrate on the things and the tasks that you've got to do on hand? So what I'm going to do today is have a look at that, why this can happen in the perimenopause and what things you can do to make life easier for yourself. So what is brain fog? It's really a sort of all-encompassing term of a collection of symptoms that can affect the way you focus on things, about not being able to think clearly. It can be about confusion. So you can, get to a point in the day and then you're thinking, like I did today, went somewhere and then it was like, what did I come here for? So you can get those moments of completely forgetting what you were doing or what you were looking for. It can be a lack of mental clarity. So maybe you have a job where you have to think on your feet and you're finding now that you're really struggling to react as quick as what you used to be able to do. It's also about focusing. You might find that your brain just drifts off at any given moment and you start thinking about something completely different. It can be your inability to focus on tasks, to get them done and to think clearly about what you need to do. It can be about losing that train of thought. You're in the middle of doing something and suddenly you start thinking about, what have I got to cook for dinner tonight? It can temporarily wipe your memory, and this can be a really troubling one. And I know for me, I'm useless at names anyway, but oh my goodness, it was just, you remember faces, but can you remember people's names? And of course that can be really embarrassing. It can be very disconcerting too if it's somebody that you see on a regular basis, or maybe a work colleague that you meet now and again. So why does this happen? It can be due to fluctuating hormones. So in the perimenopause, your hormones are going up and down and round in circles. And what happens here is that when there's a lot of fluctuating estrogen, it means that your brain can be more sensitive to stimuli. So you can get overwhelmed by things much more easily. If you think about it, it's a little bit like a computer. If you have your computer and you're trying to put in information, just one thing after another, there gets to a point when the computer can just crash. And it's the same with our brains. We can only input so much information and also pull out information at the same time. And if our brain's not firing on all cylinders, then it's going to make things that little bit more difficult. It can be blood sugar levels. This is a really, really important one. Your brain will take up at least 20% of the daily energy that you produce. And when you're in the perimenopause, the changing hormones and the physical changes can really drain you of energy. So if your energy is being used elsewhere, your brain is not being plugged in fully, and that will affect the way in which your brain works generally. So it's really important here to remember just how much energy your brain needs on a daily basis. Your brain can also be super sensitive to a sudden drop in glucose. Glucose is brain food. It's what keeps your brain going. So if your blood sugars keep dipping, then that's going to interfere with the flow of glucose to the brain. And you might find that there are very specific times in the day when your brain suddenly just goes all to pot. And that can be an indication that it's your blood sugars and you just need to eat a little bit more or little and often. It can be due to sleep. We know, especially towards the periods in the perimenopause, a lot of women find that their sleep is disrupted and they're not sleeping well. If you are not sleeping well, that's going to aggravate stress. It's going to contribute to the memory loss. It's going to cause fatigue. Your mood can then fluctuate, which is going to affect everything. And that can end up a real vicious cycle of poor sleep, poor brain function. You then get extra stress that affects the sleep, and so on. So again, this is a really important one that needs sorting. Dehydration. Your brain also needs lots of water, and if you're dehydrated, your brain mass can actually shrink, and that will affect the way in which your brain and all your neurons and nerves and everything in the brain start to function here. Dehydration will also cause anxiety. It can cause mood swings. If you're getting hot flushes and night sweats, that can contribute to dehydration as well. So again, water really, really important here. People ask, if this is happening in the perimenopause, is it going to get worse in the menopause? It's a difficult question to answer because it's different for everyone. I know for me, the kind of memory loss and the blank brain, if you like, was in the menopause rather than the perimenopause. So it was the opposite for me. But for some women, the perimenopause, it will be worse, and you might be okay in the menopause. Very often it's a phase. So again, it depends on how well you're treating your body, how well you're supporting it, and if you're doing things to counteract all these issues that I've mentioned. So what can you do to help yourself? So blood sugars, it's about eating really well, eating little and often, having good snacks. I know for me, even now, well down the line, that if I don't have snacks in between meals, my brain function just practically grinds to a halt. So I know for me, and I've learned over time, that little and often is really important to keep me going, especially at work. Remember to eat healthy fats. They are really important for brain function. You could take a fish oil supplement, or if you're vegetarian or vegan, you can go with a flaxseed oil supplement, and that's something that can very often help as well. Have enough carbs. Don't eat a lot of carbs because for a lot of women it can contribute to weight gain, but have slow release carbs like proper oatmeal, like round grain brown rice, and some of the good root vegetables as well. Sleep well. So if sleep is an issue, you could look at our licensed product, Dormezan. You can take a magnesium supplement with your evening meal as well. Excuse me. The other thing to remember is to breathe well. When we're stressed and anxious, as well as sort of hunching like this, we tend to just breathe using the top part of our lungs. What happens then is we're not breathing enough, our blood is not being oxygenated, and that will affect brain function too. So the minute you feel any of these symptoms appearing, just do a couple of minutes of really slow, really deep breathing, and that can really get everything going again very, very quickly. Remember the water to avoid dehydration. If you really feel your memory is slipping quite badly, there is a herb called ginkgo biloba, which is recommended for memory. We have our lovely concentration essence that you can take, just little drops that you can put on the tongue whenever you need to focus a lot for something very specific. Look at the B-vits too. B vitamins are really good for brain function and for also releasing energy, so they can help with fatigue too. And keep your brain active. The more you use it, the more things that you do to keep it going, the more that will help. And I know for me, sitting here doing these videos are great for my brain because I have to think on the spot of everything that I'm wanting to say. So this is These videos are my brain exercises for the week. A lot of people find doing puzzles and things like Sudoku can be really helpful too. So I hope you found this one helpful. It's really common. I'm getting so many women in the perimenopause that are experiencing this now. If you have any other issues with brain fog, or there is something you have found that's worked really well for you, then please share it, because we would all love to hear about it. And until then, I'll see you next week for another edition of A. Vogel Talks Menopause.